Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Gentle Friday Yoga. Again, my name is Julie Tokarowski, and this is a project that we're doing with Hands to Heart Center. So Hands to Heart Center, really quick overview. Yoga for the People is a nonprofit organization based in Greater Boston that works with people addicted and affected by trauma, poverty, addiction, etc. So this is our partnership with the Boston Public Library. Because of coronavirus, obviously we had to go digital. So everything looks a little bit different now. That being said, I'm really happy you're here. It looks like there's 16 of you. Great. So we'll start on our mat. So come to a comfortable seated position. We'll do some breath work before we begin. And then we'll do a little bit of a flow. So you will feel like you're warming up a little bit. You might even sweat a little bit. And then the rest of the practice will be kind of scaling it down so it feels relaxing. Great. So come and meet me on your mat. So the first thing we're doing today, like I said, is a breathing sequence. Can everybody hear me? I think we're good? Great. Okay. So with this breathing sequence, this is called Bhastrika. Bhastrika is Sanskrit for bellows breath. I'm going to be a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, that feels better. All right, cool. So come to that comfortable seat. You can have one foot slightly in front of the other. You can be kind of crisscross applesauce. It's totally up to you. So whatever feels really relaxing, you should feel pretty at ease. You don't want to feel any strain at all. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You'll be resting your wrists face up on your thighs, kind of like this. You can do a mudra hand if you'd like. It's kind of a yogic symbol. You don't have to. It's totally up to you. Just to sit with it for a second, I'll run through the breath a couple of times just because it can feel a little weird doing it for the first time. And then I'll offer you some time to do it on your own. So let's say we'll go through 5 rounds. I'll show you the first 2 of them. Okay. Find that comfortable seat. Like I said, if anything feels uncomfortable, you have the agency to change that for yourself. Notice how that feels in your body. So Bhastrika means bellows breath. So if you're thinking of a bellows, right? We're stoking a fire with a bellows. We expand and then we compress. So we're thinking of doing the same movement right here. So you'll inhale. You can kind of rise up as you inhale, and then as you're ready to exhale, you're going to compress and exhale through your nose like this. So think about compressing all of that air out. You should feel like you're not holding in any stale air at the end of the breath. That being said, it does look a little bit weird, but you can make it kind of a full movement. So if you make it kind of full body, right, we keep those wrists on our thighs, look forward, sitting up straight. Inhale all the way up. Reach the top of that inhale, and then press it up through your belly on the exhale. It sounds a little weird, it feels a little weird, that's okay. Remember, this is yoga. We're not supposed to be completely in our comfort zone. We're trying to move towards the outside of our comfort zone. That being said, let's inhale, we'll try it together. Okay, inhale all the way up, lengthen through your spine. Find the top of that inhale, hold it for a second. Exhale, compress it all out through your nose. You may start to notice that you feel that kind of rounding movement. That's what we want with this breath. It's very mobile. It really gets us moving, and it's supposed to heat up our body. So we're thinking of doing, like I said, some sun salutations. Once we get that going, we'll feel a lot of heat in our body, but this is just to warm us up and get going. Again, let's try it. Inhale. Reach the top of that inhale. Exhale through your nose. Great job. Excellent. We'll sit with it for a second. You can have your eyes closed here. Think about how that feels, right, in these muscles in the front of your belly. Notice if you are starting to feel some heat. Notice if you are holding anything in. And as we're sitting here, you're welcome to close your eyes. You're welcome to keep them open and look at me. It's totally up to you. I do teach Hatha yoga. So hatha or hatha in Sanskrit literally translates to sun, moon, yoga. So if we're thinking sun, moon, yoga, we're not thinking flow. So this isn't a flow class. But that being said, we will move around quite a bit, but there are a lot of static poses. So when I say, okay, we'll do some sun salutations, and then we'll come back to our seated postures, that's your asana, that's your pose. So asana is Sanskrit for pose, right? So we think about that, hatha is very static. So if you're having trouble sitting with that slowness, try to think about it. See where that feels in your body, see how it feels in your body. Notice if you're holding your breath at all. Notice what your body is asking for. I know this is the end of the week. For a lot of us, that may mean that we are working from home all the time. That may mean for a lot of us that we have no motivation. Whatever it is, we're going to cap it. It's the end of the week. And we're going to do a really nice reset of a flow. Inhale here. If that information sounds good to you, then that's great. We'll get started. You can meet me on all fours. We're going to do some cat-cow. So cat-cow pose, probably one of the most widely known yoga poses. Come onto all fours. Spread our fingertips wide so that we're literally using each and every fingertip to press into the mat. You really want to fire up through your wrists, fire up through your forearms. Getting a little bit of movement here. You're welcome to shift forward and shift back. And if you're ready, you can inhale and drop your belly. You'll look forward. This is your cow pose. Full breath sequence here. On that exhale, you'll press the mat away, rounding through your spine. That is your cat pose. If you think about it for a second, keep going with your own breath. So we got the inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round and curl to cat pose. If we think about the animals that these are representing, we've literally got the cow right here. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, think of a spooked cat on like Halloween, pressing the mat away. Do it a couple more times. And once you've found that rhythm, keep working through it. So moving through that cat-cow sequence. Remember, we're inhaling, we're dropping the belly, letting everything kind of loose. And then the exhale, we press the mat away, rounding up through your spine. Some people call that doming up. It's totally up to you, whatever cue works best. For a second, just seal it in. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, round and curl through your spine. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, round and curl through your spine. Maybe twice more. 2 full rounds. I'm gonna put my hair up real quick. Using that breath sequence so that it feels very natural. We don't want anything to feel like you're holding onto it. Nothing should feel stilted or artificial. If you feel like you're holding your breath, let it out. That's totally fine. That's what we want. Once you've had a second, once you feel like, okay, I have my breath, you can meet me standing and we'll start our sun salutations. So our sun salutations, last week we did, or 2 weeks ago, we did a moon salutation and then we did a basic sun salutation. This one's a little bit different. It does go really quickly. So we'll do it a couple times together and then I'll cue through it a little bit faster so that you can feel like you're actually getting a little bit of a flow in. Inhale, arms come out wide. Exhale, you fold over all the way down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Holding it here. Exhale, downward facing dog. You don't have to turn like I did. I'm just trying to make it easy to see. Inhale, look forward. Come down onto your knees. Exhale. Inhale, look between your palms. Surrender your chest to the mat. Press everything back. Inhale, lift up, Cobra Pose. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Walk to meet your hands. Exhale here. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out wide overhead. Reach all the way up. Great. So that's one round. It's going to sound a little daunting, but we're going to do it 20 times. And there's a reason for that, because I want it to feel like a flow. I want you to feel like you're getting your energy up. So same thing. Here we go, starting from the top. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Remember, we're compressing that air out. Each time that we fold over, think about that bellows breath that we did. Compressing the air out. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, meet me in downward facing dog. Second downward facing dog of the day. Feel free to pedal out through your legs. Bend one knee. Switch and bend through the other. We're here for a second. Exhale, come down to your knees. This is your tabletop pose. Looking between your hands, surrender your chest to the mat. And let everything go. Inhale, Cobra Pose. You can leave a nice generous bend in your elbows. We don't want anything locked. Exhale, press yourself back through downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Begin to walk your feet to meet your hands. Forward fold here. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, curl back down. Inhale up all the way. Exhale, fold. We'll go right back into it. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedaling out your knees. Exhale, drop your knees to the mat. Taking a second here, noticing where the breath is. We're on number 3, and I did stop us just so we can check in, starting to feel the heat in our body, starting to build up on that movement. From here, you got it. Surrender your chest to the mat. Press everything away. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can come through tabletop if that's easier, and then curl your toes and lift your hips high. There are many modifications in Hatha Yoga. Just find the one that works for you. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, meet your feet to your palms. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, dive back down. Here's your forward fold. Going right back into it. This will be number 4. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press yourself back through downward facing dog. Same thing, hips go high. Pedaling out your knees if you'd like. Maybe making your downward facing dog a little bit longer, or maybe making your stance a little bit shorter. Noticing how the hamstrings feel if you want to pedal out those knees. If it feels good, there you go. Inhale, look forward, drop your knees to the mat. Maybe you want to add in some cat-cow here. Maybe you want to stay with your breath for a moment. Inhale, looking at the mat, surrender your chest down and press back. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, press it away. Come through tabletop if you'd like, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. You know the drill. Step to meet your hands. Nice little forward fold action here. Inhale, lift up halfway. That's your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out wide or overhead. Reach all the way up. Exhale, fold back down. You know it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Press back, downward facing dog. Same thing, noticing what your knees are asking for. Are your joints feeling tired? Maybe you've been sitting all week. Are your joints telling you, just give me a little bit of wiggle room here? That's totally fine. Inhale, look forward, drop your knees to the mat. Exhale, surrender your chest and let everything come to the floor. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, press yourself back through downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, dive back down, folding over. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. And here's a little challenge for you. If you're someone who wants a little bit more heat added, feel free to go for that chaturanga. So the chaturanga, quite literally, say we're in downward facing dog. You can come into a plank position and lower down. You can come to your knees and lower down with your chest. Whichever you choose, you can do that as your nice little transition. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, press yourself back, rolling over your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. You know the drill. Walk your toes to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way over. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out for a second. Find your breath. Inhale, drop your knees to the mat. Here's your little Chaturanga Flow if you'd like it. If not, you can just surrender your chest and lay all the way down on your stomach. Inhale into Cobra Pose. Maybe you want to go for Baby Cobra. Maybe Cobra Pose is a little bit too much. Baby Cobra is just fine. Exhale, roll back over, downward facing dog. Roll over those toes, over your knees. Lift those hips high to the sky. Inhale, look forward. You know the drill. Step your feet to meet your hands on the top of the mat. Find your inhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. Maybe you sink through your spine. You do a little chair pose. Maybe you give yourself a little back bend. Whatever you need here. Exhale, we dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Knees come to the mat. Here's your area for a little Chaturanga Flow if you feel like it. If not, that's totally fine too. Inhale, Cobra Pose. I'm going to do Baby Cobra through here. Exhale, downward facing dog. However you want to get there. Pedal out your knees. Inhale, look forward. Step to your hands. You can really let your head hang here. We're about halfway through our sun salutations and we're starting to feel that heat, right? Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, maybe sinking to kind of bend your knees, sinking into like a chair pose here, and then lifting up. Maybe using a little baby back bend. Exhale, fold all the way over. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. However you want to get there is totally fine. Inhale, look forward. Maybe you come forward into plank pose. Maybe you come right onto your knees. And you do our little Ashtangasana, that's 8-limbed pose, where we drop our chest between our hands and push everything back. On our inhale, we meet in Cobra. Maybe you want to do Sphinx pose instead, keeping your forearms pressed to the mat, still lifting up through your chest. Exhale, press the mat away, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, walk those feet to the top of the mat. Resting here in your forward fold, letting everything have a second here. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Sitting with it, maybe letting your head hang really heavy. Sitting with that feeling. We are generating a little bit of heat. That's definitely the goal in our sun salutation. Like I said, we're halfway through. Let's keep that energy going, yeah? Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Notice that I'm really gonna pedal out through my legs here on this one. So I'm definitely heating up a little bit, but I wanna give myself some relief, especially through my hamstrings. Inhale, look forward. Drop to your knees if you'd like. Plenty of room for Chaturanga if you'd like one. I'll show the advanced form. If you'd like to use it, that's totally fine. Remember, these are not modifications, they're personalizations to your practice. Inhale through Cobra. Exhale, press away, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Walk those feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, maybe dropping back a little bit to chair pose all the way up to a standing position, maybe a little back bend. Arms overhead. Give you a little break for water really quick. Going back into it, here we go, forward fold all the way over. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog, you got it. Inhale, here is your nice little vinyasa. Maybe you choose Chaturanga, maybe you choose coming onto your knees. Either way, we meet completely on our belly on the mat. And we inhale to Cobra Pose. Exhale, press the mat away, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Walk those feet to meet your hands. Maybe taking a big, nice bend in the knees. Reaching all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Start to notice where your breath comes in. When I give you a cue, start to notice, am I going with the same breath? If not, that's totally fine. Find your own, that's fine with me. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, drop to your knees, or a nice little Chaturanga. Exhale, surrendering your chest to the mat. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, downward facing dog, you got this. Inhale, walking your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, drop your knees. Inhale, gaze towards the mat. Exhale, drop your chest. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, stop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, drop to your knees. Inhale, looking towards the mat. Exhale, drop your chest between the palms. Inhale, nice Cobra Pose here. We're starting to really hit that fatigue, right? That's what we want to be in. We're going to get a nice workout through this class, right? Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat and take a seat. Hold it for a second here. We just did a nice warm round of sun salutation. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely heating up. That being said, we worked on a breath last week, 2 weeks ago, excuse me, called Shitali. Also did Shitkari. These breaths are both cooling breaths, so we're going to bring them back just for a second. Remember, Shitali, same kind of position, seated, right? Ready for the breath. As we inhale, think about sucking in through a straw. If you can curl your tongue, that's perfect. If not, that's perfect too. So imagine you have a straw right here, and you're sucking in through it. Okay, so that's your inhale. Once you get to the top of that exhale, you're going to breathe out through your nose, like this. Similar to our Vastrika breath, which had a lot of rounding and curling, right? Lengthen and then curl. If that's helpful to you to expel the air out, please feel free to do that. And the other breath, Shitkari, is a little bit different. So we inhale, kind of catching our tongue between our teeth in a smile. So you're feeling the air on the sides of your mouth, right? Instead of straight through like we did with the straw in Shitali. Whichever one's your favorite, feel free to hold on to it for a second. Check in with your breath. You have it. Are you holding on to it? Have you lost it completely? Whatever the answer is to that, I invite you to inhale through whatever breath is best for you. Maybe join in a round of breath with me. So we inhale, maybe catching the tongue on the teeth, maybe not, maybe sucking in through a straw. Whichever works best for you, feel free to take that breath. Because now we're really warm, right? Now we've built up a lot of heat in the body. So this is really good. Now we want to calm down a little bit so that we can really feel the full extent of all the poses that we're going to do before we go into a nice long Shavasana. So here we go. Back to those breaths, right? It's really deep. We're really feeling that warmth in our body, maybe right around our stomach. Maybe we're feeling it up in our shoulders. Inhale, whichever breath you choose, maybe sucking in through a straw like this. Or maybe catching that tongue between your teeth and finding that nice little smile for your inhale right through your mouth here. Exhale through your nose. Noticing how that makes you feel. Noticing if you've really kind of slowed down. I know I have. I've kind of stopped sweating a little bit. So I've really kind of cooled my body down. I'm going to do it 2 more times. If you just want to sit here and take a rest, that's totally fine. We did just go pretty much full exertion. Sun salutations, like I said, they're to start the day. But I wanted this class to feel very relaxing. And I want you to feel like you have some relief when you're done with it. So that's the point of going pretty intensely when we did those sun salutations. Inhale, whichever way you'd like. Exhale through your nose. Really good. Sitting with it here. And we'll move into core. So now that we've really fired up through our body, we're going to use that heat, a little bit that we have left, to fire up through some core. And then we'll come into these nice seated positions that feel so nice after the end of the workout. So a couple weeks ago, we did the same one. This is Boat Pose or Naukasana. Naukasana, you can do it however you'd like. For me, it really helps to grab the crease behind my knees. And then I sit up straight through my back. So as I'm sitting up straight through my back, I'm going to lean back just a little bit so that only the tips of my toes are on the ground. Once they're on the ground, I might choose to lift 1. I might choose to leave 1 toe on the ground and keep the others right off. I might raise my arms out in front of me. I might try to lift both feet, but I know that's not going to happen, so I'm not going to try that. Sitting with it for a second, you can come out of it. Whichever feels the best to you, that is where I encourage you to choose Like I said, I give you that agency to decide what personalization you'd like in this pose right here. Here we go. We'll inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, maybe leaning back, maybe grabbing for those knee creases, right? Maybe picking up a toe. Maybe crossing your ankles and lifting. Remembering we want to have that nice flat spine. We don't want to be rocking all over the place, right? Maybe raising our arms out in front of us. Maybe dropping a toe, stabilizing ourselves. Maybe this isn't happening for us at all, and that's totally fine. Maybe you're just sitting with it and still trying to catch your breath. Going back into it if you came out. Exhale, bring that foot back down. Inhale, lift your left toe off the ground if you'd like. And let it back down. Straighten on up. Come to a nice little butterfly pose. Just to kind of counteract what we just did with boat pose. Just so we don't feel like we're holding everything in too tightly. As you're ready, we'll meet in plank pose. We did plank a little bit earlier in our sun salutations, but this will be a static plank pose, so this won't be a chaturanga. And this plank pose can be personalized however you want. So if it feels best to be on your knees, feel free to go on your knees. I also encourage you to roll up the mat if you have a knee particularly that feels a little bit sensitive. So feel free to roll up that mat so you get a little bit more cushion, totally up to you. Pressing in through each fingertip, firing up, using that energy, and then lifting up, maybe you're rising onto your toes, maybe you're staying on your knees. Whichever it is, find yourself in that nice danda. Danda literally means stick or plank. So we're sitting with this pose. Maybe starting to modify. Maybe we drop down to our knees for a second. Maybe we do some toe taps. Whatever you want to do here, realizing this is your exercise. If this is too much, press back into a downward facing dog. Get a little bit of relief here, that's totally fine. And even feel free to bend your knees. Maybe exhale to come back into it. Remembering that we're trying to build heat so that we feel like we have a nice solid foundation before Shavasana. Exhale, come out of it. Meet me in that same cross-legged position that we started with. From here, we'll catch our breath. Right, we did a little bit of core work. We feel a little bit of internal heat, a little fire. Agni is what it's called in Sanskrit. You can put your arms up to the side, maybe just on your fingertips. Inhale and twist over your right side. Sitting with this twist, remembering that just because this is not a vinyasa flow doesn't mean we can't get a benefit from it. Coming back through center. Resetting our spine a little bit, making sure we feel grounded. This time crossing over to the left. Getting that nice little spinal twist. Feeling like we're sitting straight up, but almost using the back of our hand to press open through our shoulders. So you kind of hook it on your knee here, and then you just press open so that you feel like you're really smiling through your shoulders. Apologize, I just put my hand straight into a plank, so that's what's happening here. Feeling that nice little twist. Remembering that yes, it's okay to laugh at ourselves. It's just yoga. Inhaling back forward. Holding that nice exhale here. Maybe raising our arms out overhead, right? Maybe clasping our hands overhead right here, right? Stretching up just a little bit more, and then leaning to one side, leaning to the other, whatever helps you feel like you've reset, especially through our spine. We want to give our spine a lot of love. We don't want to do anything too quickly. We want to make sure that everything feels neutral. Excellent. Moving into a seated forward fold. I'll face the camera this time, and then I'll switch while we continue it, and I'll turn sideways so you can see every modification. Inhale, arms come up high. Exhale, folding over. Feeling free to bend your knees. I know we did this a couple weeks ago. That's the best way to be able to touch your toes, is to bend those knees as much as you need. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Noticing what your body is asking for here. Working with your own breath on each inhale to lengthen and each exhale to fold. Not pushing ourselves somewhere that we can't quite reach. We don't want that. We want this to feel very restful, right? We want this to feel a little bit relaxing. Inhaling to come back out of it. Turning to face me. Our next pose is Padmasana, which means lotus, so lotus pose. But there's a lot of modifications here. So it's basically like we were sitting when we first started class. So we could have one foot slightly on the inner thigh of the opposite leg, excuse me. If you want to do that with both feet, you're more than welcome to. My flexibility is not there today, and that's fine. I'm not going to push it. Sit with it for a second. Find where you are happiest. And then go ahead and grab for your entire shin. I know what I'm saying, sounds weird. So you're gonna put your foot right in the crook of your left elbow. So your right foot is going in the crook of your elbow. This is called rocking the baby, because it literally looks like you're cradling, right, a little baby. So use that. We're lifting, we're not crunching in, we're not curling over. If your flexibility is only allowing you to grab your foot and hold your knee, that's totally fine. Maybe you want to cross over your midline and back. Whatever it is, it's up to you. Know that whatever you choose to do is correct in its own way. Nothing about anyone's practice is wrong. If something starts to hurt, I encourage you to stop and modify it as you like. Once you feel like your right foot, right leg has had a nice little stretch, you can switch it up and tuck your right behind you. And same thing, rocking the baby on the other side, right? Maybe our flexibility isn't allowing that right now. Maybe we just want to grab for the ball of our foot and kind of hold it for a second. Maybe you want to cross it over your midline. Maybe that feels really good. Maybe you want to stretch it straight out in front of you. Whatever feels best for you. This is your practice, right? Maybe reaching that up and tucking that left foot into the crook of the right elbow. Totally up to you. This is your practice. Again, not shrinking to kind of close everything off, but keeping our shoulders really open. People say smiling through your collarbone, right? How can we make a smile with our collarbones? How can we make that feel? Exhale, let it go. Here's another twisting one. It's a little difficult, but it feels really good on the spine. I specifically added this into practice today because I know it feels so great on the spine at the end of the week. That being said, we'll straighten our legs out in front of us, like we were going to do a seated forward fold. And then we're going to take our right leg and cross it over the left, okay? You can let that stay right there. That can be your nice little cow face pose, or you can tuck this left leg right underneath you here. If that feels good, if that feels okay, we're going to reach up with our hands, and we're going to let the left fall slightly down our back, while the right palm reaches for the left fingertips. If that's not happening, you're more than welcome to use a towel, a strap. I'm trying to see what props I have around me. But for myself, knowing that I want to use it as chest expansion, I'm really going to think about opening up through my collarbones, right? That seems to be the theme of today's class. Opening everything up. Not shrinking to fit in a box or whatever it is, but opening everything up. Despite maybe the discomfort of a new stretch, feeling very strong and feeling very brave in these poses. Maybe take 2 more breaths here. Notice how you've been modifying. Maybe you've kind of let everything just kind of in. Maybe you want to fix that a little bit. Like we said, you don't have to tuck that left leg underneath you. You can keep it straight out. Here's a modification or personalization, whichever you prefer. You can just sit straight up with it. Really pulling that right thigh right into your chest here. Wherever you are, I invite you to unravel yourself. That's always how it kind of feels when you're doing yoga. You kind of have to untangle and start over. Really good. This time we'll do it on the opposite side. So same thing, same position as seated forward fold, but instead, we're gonna bend that left leg and cross it over our right. If this feels good, amazing. You can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, feel free to take that right leg and tuck it under that left hip. If that feels good, you're totally here for it, amazing. Same thing, this time we'll have the right arm kind of falling down our chest, and the left palms are gonna reach for it. Like we said, if that's not happening, if you feel yourself closing in through your chest, that's totally fine. Feel free to open up. You don't have to do the crazy stuff. You can in fact have your arms wrapped straight in front of you if that feels better. For me, my body's asking for a little bit more of a stretch, so I'm reaching this right hand up and back down my back, and I'm trying to reach it with my left fingertips. However, notice that I'm not crunching in to try to make that happen. Everything is very open. Very open seat. We're enjoying our breath. Always remembering that we can personalize this pose, right? We can personalize it so that this right leg stays straight in front of us. If that's what we want, that is totally fine, right? Maybe we're clasping our hands right just underneath the left knee, not on the left knee. Maybe we're just gonna sit here and really feel our shoulders rolling away from our ears, right? Never wanna hunch them up, rolling them away. When someone says, get your shoulders out of your ears, think about that literally, right? Roll it away. There you go. Wherever you are, I invite you to, again, unravel yourself. And we'll move into kind of coming up on the end of class here. A couple more poses before we go into full Shavasana. We'll do Plow Pose. So Plow Pose is a little bit of an inversion, but it's really nice because it really feels good through the hamstrings. So I'm doing it sideways. It's pretty straightforward, but what you're gonna do, come up in this kind of tiny ball position, and I'm just gonna roll yourself back until you can grab your hips overhead. If that's not happening, that is totally fine too. You are welcome to sit in this kind of tiny ball pose and rock side to side. If you'd like to go for the Plow Pose, like we said, we're using the momentum of rolling over so that we kick our legs over our head. It sounds crazy, but it feels really good. Here we go. Use that momentum. Catch your hips. Maybe bend your knees. Maybe you want to try a little bit more. Maybe a shoulder stand here. Whatever you want to do. Again, if that's not happening, remember you're always welcome to roll back down into a tiny ball and massage your spine side to side. Again, these are personalizations rather than modifications. Personalizations mean that it's changing your practice to however your body moves the best. Modification is thinking of someone else's practice, personalizing is for yours. Sitting with it for a second. Exhaling, coming out of it, same way that we went in, right? So we roll everything back down and we come up to our seated position. However you get there is totally fine. We'll come back down and we'll go into happy baby pose. So we're opening our legs up and we're reaching for the knife side edge of the foot. That's this kind of sharp part, if you will, and pulling down. Think about literally pulling your foot straight down into your armpit. Sounds weird, but it works like a charm. So inhale maybe to lengthen. Exhale to bend through your knees. And feel that nice release. It should feel really good on your hamstrings. If it's not feeling good, feel free to press your feet together so that you're in a supine position of butterfly pose. We did do this earlier. This is the supine version. It should feel really good, letting gravity do its thing. Again, you're always welcome to roll over your spine. Gives you a nice little massage here, right? Maybe we want to go back into happy baby. It's totally up to you. As you are finished with that, I invite you to join me in a nice little supine twist. Pretty simple twist. So we'll be laying completely down as if we were going to go into Shavasana. There's a few more minutes. Inhale, bending your right knee, grabbing it, maybe pulling it towards your armpit here, and then crossing it over the body. So it's just a simple twist. You're welcome to have a hand on your knee, maybe pressing down, while trying to keep your shoulder on the mat. So that right shoulder is going to stay resting on the mat. If your knee doesn't touch the ground, that's totally fine. This should feel really good. Maybe you want to come into just a simple twist. That means bending both knees and then dropping them over to the left. Wherever you are, I invite you to breathe into this pose. Right, these are the final moments of class. We're trying to connect very deeply. We're trying to kind of get our head in it so we can kind of discover how yoga heals so much. Maybe inhaling to bring your feet back through center, tucking your knees in. This time we'll let the right leg go long. And the left leg will slightly cross over it, just crossing over the midline to get a little bit of a twist. Same thing, keeping that left shoulder grounded firmly on the floor. Right, that's so nice to feel it against the mat. Reminder that you are grounded. Letting gravity do its thing, right? Maybe you want to extend that left arm all the way up. Same thing, maybe inhaling your knees back through center. Reaching into a tiny ball. Noticing whatever your body is asking for in these last few minutes. I did leave some time just for you to decide whatever you're looking for in your practice. We're at the 48-minute mark, I think. Yes. So we've got about a minute and a half for you to move around however your body's asking for it. That being said, we will meet in Shavasana in about 90 seconds. If you are already there, you're welcome to lay back in Shavasana. More than happy to have you do that. A great way to feel that release. So tuck yourself into the tiniest little ball, roll onto your back, and exhale, let everything go into Shavasana. I'll be here to cue you through it. I have a quote, and I have some music. And we'll just sit with that. End of class. Notice how it feels in our body. If you're still practicing, feel free to start to wind it down, right? And we'll slowly move into our final resting pose, Shavasana. As you meet me there, you can have your palms face up to receive energy, face down to release energy. And here is your Shavasana. Playing with it. out of it. Maybe listening to the background music. Maybe letting your mind kind of drift off. Maybe focusing very hard on your thoughts. Something a little different. A little bit slower. Notice all those sensations in the body, right? We built up all that heat, and then we really slowed it down. We pulled back. We gave ourselves some time, right? We're sitting on our mat, feeling grounded. Feel that ground underneath you. Maybe closing your eyes. Wherever you are, know that I am so grateful that you came to practice with me. I'll be here leading you through this nice little Shavasana. As always, I'd like to end my class with 5 minutes of just silence. So we'll be there in about 3 minutes. Because as easy as it is to sit and listen to someone talk for 5 minutes, it's much, much harder to sit with the silence. I am in a different space this week. I don't have my singing bowl with me, but I figure that we can figure it out, right? There are plenty of things to assist us in Shavasana. Make sure that music is playing for you. Noticing if your eyes are gently closed or if you're kind of clenching them and feeling that tension right between your brow, right between your third eye, right? Trying to let that go a little bit. Remember, like I said, palms up to receive energy, palms down to release energy. Totally up to you. You know the week that you have had. You know what maybe you feel you've been through this week. You know what emotions were involved. Maybe just starting to count the inhale, count the exhale. Maybe we're breathing in for 3, right? Then out for 5. 5. Maybe that's the model that we want to listen to while we sit here. Think about it. In for 3. Out for 5. Continuing that. That's helpful. Maybe just listening to it. About 30 seconds left, and then we'll just sit with the music. I'll give you one quote to think about. I'll let you do your thing. This is perhaps the hardest pose of any that we did today, although shoulder stand is probably up there too. This is the pose where you really just surrender to nothingness. Right? See if you can do that. Right now, as we hit that 55-minute mark, I'm going to give you a quote to think on for the next 5. This is from Kenji Miyazawa. I thought this was particularly relevant with everything that's been going on in the world at the moment. We must embrace pain and burn it as a fuel for our journey. Say that one more time. We must embrace pain and use it as a fuel for our journey. Maybe starting to wiggle fingers and toes. In this last moment of peace and quiet, right? And meeting me in a comfortable seat. Namaste. Thank you for joining us in Hands Heart Center's virtual project. This has been so much fun to be a part of. So I will see you all in 2 weeks. So same thing, just feel free to click the live stream link. If you'd like to follow me outside of this, my username is @JulieDoesYoga, and that's on Instagram. More than happy to have you follow my yoga journey. Remember, we're all in this together. Thank you, and namaste.